The Hash It Out Show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, the sports guy. We got a good show for you all tonight. But before we get to our special guest, I got to introduce my two co-hosts that you can find on CrescentCitySports.com. First of all, we got the one and only VK Jones. What's up, VK?
What's going on, everybody? Like, tag, share, subscribe to the Hash It Out Show on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. And also log on to the hashitoutshow.com.
Most definitely. And there you go. He's showing his face, ladies and gentlemen, for you all tonight.
The handsomest man of the three.
The one and only George Peppers. What's up, George Peppers?
What's up, my two brothers from another mother? It's good. It's Wednesday night. It's another edition of the Hash It Out Show. Jared, what episode is this? 155, I think now?
148.
148. I'm jumping ahead. 52 away from 2. And we keep showing. We got a great show for you tonight. But VK, I know we want to start things off a little bit differently tonight, so I'm going to turn it right back over to you, sir.
Yeah, we're going to start off a little different before we bring our guest tonight. Last year, I know I went through a lot of hell in a handbasket. You know what I'm saying? These two brothers was there for me. And tonight, one of our guys, our main brother, our CEO, has been through a lot himself the last couple of days. And there was a couple of reasons why we did not join you Tuesday night and everything else. But at the same time, my brother had a family loss in his family, and it was his grandmother, Miss Beverly Boyd, who died at 86 years old. Very, very good person, and on top of that, well known in the River Parish and well known all over the West Bank as well. And a lot of people, including some people in my family, even knew her as well. So my prayers goes out not just to our brother Jared, that's the most important person, but to the Boyd family overall. They've been very supportive of not just Jared, but to all of us. They have been supportive to all three of us in the Hash It Out show. So our prayers goes out to the Boyd family overall, your dad Jared, your uncle Glenn, all your people from the Boyd family up and down. Me and George praying for you and everything, but we're praying for you as well for your healing and everything else, man. We're here for you if you need anything. But our prayers go out to you and your family.
Appreciate
I
it,
do want to
Appreciate it a lot.
I do want
Thank
to
you.
add one thing, Jared. I do want to add one thing. You know, Glenn works with me at the sheriff's office, right? He's with the media relations, and I've seen him a few times and all that, but not since your grandmother passed. But I want to echo what VK said, but I also want to offer the olive branch that, hey, if you need us, dude, we're a phone call away, man. If you just want to talk, if you want to cry, if you want to just let it out, we're here for you, man. We love you, and we're here for you, and we're praying for you.
we
Appreciate it, fellas.
we love you, man. We have you back in on anything. And before we go any further, we would like to also recognize the life and times also the great Jerry West, who passed away today as well.
Logo.
So we want to recognize him. Yes, the logo of the NBA and one of the most influential people ever in the National Basketball Association, who has been a player, a world champion, a coach, and also a general manager. He has done it all in this league, and life cut short, but he was also in his 80s as well. So prayers go
86.
out. 86 as well. Wow, amazing. Sometimes in the Bible say you get four scores and ten, and that's amazing.
Yep.
How God can go beyond that, you can say. So our prayers goes out to the family of Jerry West. You will be missed, but also to the Boyd family as well.
Appreciate it. All right, let's move on.
Let's get the happy
Joining us,
thing.
joining us tonight. You can catch these guys on the Fanview Live Podcast. They're joining us tonight. We're happy to have them on the Fanview Live Podcast. We have that boy Fred and Coach Hurricane here. What's up, fellas?
Do what it do. What it do.
Look, fellas, I want to get right into this tonight. A lot of talk about Miss Caitlin Clark. And the talk is now of Caitlin Clark being left off the U.S. women's basketball. What are your thoughts about that? I'm going to start with Fred first.
There's breaking up bad. I heard you, but
All right, I got you, Fred. I'm going to repeat it. So, my question, start with Fred first. Caitlin Clark has been in the news a lot. What are your thoughts about Caitlin Clark being left off Team USA?
well, let's just start with the facts first. She wasn't able to try out for Team USA last year when she was inside the Final Four with her. I think they originally played Louisville, then they actually played LSU in the national championship. So she couldn't even try for Team USA last year. So that's the main reason why she's left off the roster. So I just want to deal with the facts of the matter because a lot of people have a lot of, you know, they want to say something without the information. So that's the reason why, first and foremost, she is off the team. Secondly, Team USA doesn't need her. They won their last 7 golds for the women's Olympics. I don't think they need Caitlin Clark to win the 8th. They have the best player in the world and they have the best roster in the world. So I think that when it comes to her not being on the roster, she's the most popular and most polarized and most marketable player who's into this league this year, and that's without discussion. And so she's not playing in there is where all of the conversations come from. But to be honest with you, I think she's played a lot of basketball these past 2 years. So I think that break is well needed and well deserved. I understand, but to me, if she's playing in the Olympics, it's just more basketball. We've watched this year so far. If anybody's paid attention, that the physicality of her being in the WNBA is an adjustment. So her being time away from basketball to me is more important than her trying to play in the Olympics.
Hurricane Hen, your thoughts?
First and foremost, want to thank you guys for having us on. It's a lot for us. We pride ourselves on supporting one another
That's right.
in the community, especially from our areas. Secondly, I want to give condolences to you, Boyd, and your family. Whenever someone loses a loved one, we just want to be supportive in any way that we need. If you need us, we there from you. We're only a call away. Don't hesitate.
Appreciate it.
With that,
Appreciate it.
no problem, man. With that being said, we have to look at the landscape of women basketball as a whole. Um, the NBA a couple of years back kind of like went through what the WNBA is doing right now, where the NBA wasn't the cream of the crop. You had some of the most of the best basketball being played overseas compared to the NBA. That has changed. Now the WNBA is stepping into that fold where the cream of the crop is not overseas, is actually in the WNBA. With that being said, when you compare the men's to the women's side, when the finals go on today, after the finals over with, you'll have to draft and all that stuff. The NCAA tournament ended like 2 months ago. These guys have been having time to prepare their bodies to get adjusted to the physicality of the league that they're about to go into, and have that break to let their body heal. WNBA doesn't have that. They go straight from the Final Four, straight the week after the championship is the draft. The week after that is preseason. With that being said, everything Fred said is right. Two, who are you gonna at her position? Who are you gonna take her off the roster for? She's not better than Jewel Lloyd. She's more popular. She's not better than Jewel Lloyd. She's not better than Sabrina. She's not even her name is slipping me right now. The young lady that's hurt that hasn't been able to play this
Chelsea
year
Green.
so far. Yeah, she's not better than them. So who do you take her off of? Yes, she's popular. You don't need like with the brand of the WNBA is right now. They don't need popularity on a global scale. They have that already. They're trying to enforce dominance, and when you're enforcing dominance, you need the most dominant people out there. She's not dominant yet. Will she be? I strongly believe, as time go on, by the time next Olympics go around, yes. But this is not the first time in women's basketball. People forget that Candace Parker didn't make it her first year because of the same situation. Brittany Griner didn't make it her first year. Diana Taurasi didn't make it her first year. Asia Wilson just luckily got to it for her first year because she's been in the league a couple of times, and it was an Olympic year when she first came out. That being said, her time will come. This is one of those situations where the media is making it worse on Caitlin Clark than Caitlin Clark is making it on herself.
I'm going to say this. We've seen players be on the team straight out of college before. We saw Anthony Davis. We saw Kristen Leitner. And the last female player that I remember being on the Olympic team straight out of college was Brianna Stewart. And to me, that was due to the fact that Coach Ariema was coaching the team and Brianna knew his offense. Didn't earn a spot, but that's what it is. Caitlin Clark is the most marketable player in women's basketball right now, but I feel as if she did not earn a spot. Also, the WNBA kind of are doing something that the NBA does. In February, they're holding workouts to see who can make this team. And I agree with both of y'all. She's not at the level yet as a Jewel Lloyd or a Jackie Young, Kalai Cooper, or even a Chelsea Gray. She's not there yet. I think in due time, she will be there and be one of the best players in the world. But right now, I am in agreement with Jennifer Rosati, who's the chairman of the Olympic basketball team, of Team USA, and she said that making this team was not about marketability. It's about putting the best players on this team together. And I am in total agreement of of what she said. Before I pass it on to VK, I want to ask both of you guys. Um, there's not too many things being said of anybody being snubbed off the team, but what are your thoughts about Enrique Ogumbawale not being on this team?
I still think they got the again. So there's no real conversation about somebody being snubbed because they still got the best roster on the team. If her not being on it will prevent any gold opportunities, I think it's worth the discussion. That's just not the case. It's just not the case.
Hurricane.
I think it's one of those situations where we said earlier with Caitlin Clark. Who do you take
We take
off
off.
the roster for her? If you when I think of snubs, I think of justification. Who
Mm-hmm.
can you justify that's on the roster right now that she's better than? That's the if you can't give that answer without no back and forward, like to me, like this is like one of the most no doubt if women's roster, NBA rosters. I mean, Olympic team rosters in a while,
I agree.
in a while because for a time, like when Lisa Leslie and all that stuff was making it, and the post player was so dominant in the WNBA. Now it's kind of shift to where like the wings and the backcourt is the dominant. So it's like who do you take off? You need the best of the best in that front court, and I think they got it right. I don't see where where you would swap one person, but the only person that I will say that's a question mark of like, all right, what does she have left to prove is Diana Taurasi.
Hmm.
It's like, all right, you didn't done this. You just done this so many times. Pat, I get it. I get the both sides of the story. Media like, hey, Pat, let somebody else give a chance. But as a competitor myself, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to play the next Olympics. So if I'm gonna go out, I want to go out at the top of the top. But to answer your question, boy, I don't see who she can replace.
Gotcha. VK.
Man, appreciate you guys joining us, man. It's great to have you on. And I got some interesting ones for you. We're gonna get to the NBA finals question on the second one, but I'm gonna ask you this sticking to the Caitlin Clark thing. We're gonna move on. What are your thoughts on the media coverage? Because it seems like there's been and at first, keeping up with this thing and been covering this thing for years and how Caitlin has made an impact in college, but in the league, it's been a little bit too much protection and then some, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. You think it's a lot of irresponsibility on the main media who ain't been really truly doing their jobs?
In terms of what?
As in, there's too much like protection, as in like, not looking and saying that Caitlin a lot of time when she gets filed, the how files that she always be giving out files, and then a lot of times always making excuses, trying to put their head on the back and stuff like that, instead of just knowing that, okay, we haven't covered that in years, but you're trying to get a pat on the back for covering it now.
They're
And
bumping. The players are being physical with her, and they're allowing a lot of play to happen. I do think Caitlin needs to stop demanding the refs to make calls. I think that's the one part of her game that when I'm watching, that's very visible. She got to stop complaining to the referees and let the referees do their job. But in terms of the media, listen, at the end of the day, marketing is marketing. At the end of the day, they need all the market they can get. Aja Wilson is the best women's basketball player in the world, and she's been the best basketball player for the past 2 years. But there's this type of marketing she hasn't demanded, and you can't decide who that person is going to be. Right now, it's her. And so it's with that being said, if the women's basketball wants a new CBA, new collective bargaining agreement, because what they can what they call cancel the current one that they got in November. So if they want people to continue to pay attention to this league, then you got to follow the marketing. And the marketing is Caitlin Clark, and so be it. I'm happy that we're talking about it because it allows us to talk about, as we're talking about Caitlin Clark, the people who were casuals are being forced to dive into the WNBA and look at other players. They're being forced to, now that they're watching this, they're finding out about more and more players. So I just think it's a beautiful thing. It's something that the league it's been overdue, but right now it's the moment in time. So I appreciate it.
yeah,
Can I keep it 100, brothers? Can I just keep it 100? Can I keep
come
it a
on with
band?
it. Come on with it.
All right, man. This is where I'm at with, and I'm hey, I agree with Fred at some point, but I'm about facts. I'm about facts. Here's the facts. The league, no matter if it's professional peewee or professional swimming, the league, in order for the league to grow, you have to have a villain and you have to have a hero. All right. The media dub who is who. Not the players, not none of that stuff. It's the media. So let's the fact that I'm about to make is very simple. Before Caitlin Clark Jr. year, have you heard of
No.
Now,
her? No, nobody's heard of her until she went on that junior year and she went on the run. They beat South Carolina.
Yep.
She was that's when the hero started coming out. Enters the villain, Angel Reese. Nah, Caitlin Clark was doing all the antics that she's been doing now. It's just that she didn't have as many cameras in front of her. You feel what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yep.
And now that the eyes on you, it's like, oh, what she could get away with. She's the one that we're ascending to the throne. And in comes Angel Reese doing all the antics that she did, and never changed the type of player she was from when she was at Maryland to when she came to LSU.
Right.
And LSU won. And all of a sudden, like, Angel Reese is not this bad person. You keep
Mm-hmm.
you kept forcing Caitlin Clark up. Then Caitlin Clark gets the revenge win over them. They were supposed to. LSU lost so much talent off of that, and Iowa starting five was all seniors. They were
Yep.
supposed to win that. Then you go up against the juggernaut, and you didn't put up a good show at all. Fast forward to the league. They carried that over to the league to try to keep it boosted up.
Keep
What I'm
going.
saying, what I'm saying is, it's very simple. Caitlin Clark has not done enough to garner this. The media has pushed her up there. That's why I'm talking about keep it
Agree.
going. Yes, she hasn't won the championship. She is just the flashy now. She's what's flashy right now. And I get it. In order to grow your league, that's what you need. She's the one that, and especially look at the demographic where she comes from. She comes from the Midwest, a place that rivals New York in the mecca of basketball. This is what they do. So of course, when you get one of your own rising up, you're gonna. It's just like if somebody from the South start going crazy in football. We gonna back that person whether they play for the Falcons or whether they play. When you're talking about the league as a whole, we're gonna
Right.
back that person. This is their chance. Take it while the iron is hot, because you don't know the next time you'll get it. Well, I know the next time you're gonna get it. In 2 more years, there's gonna be somebody coming out of USC
Yep.
that played at the same college that the greatest woman basketball player of all time, Sharon Miller, played at, and Juju Watkins, that's about to take your shine. So you better get it while it's hot now, because once she come in, she can do everything that you can't. So this is one of those situations that the media is is making it way tougher on Caitlin Clark than Caitlin Clark antics, than than her talk, than her play, than all the stuff that's going on. Because what's happened is, this is what happened when you put somebody to starter when they're not ready to be a starter.
Man,
Agree.
awesome points, guys. Absolutely awesome points. Let's go to the NBA Finals a little bit. Now, want to get your thoughts, guys, on how the NBA Finals has been in your opinion. And I ain't gonna lie, me and Jared was kind of had a little disagreement on game one a little bit, because the way Porzingis played that game, I thought about and looking at the Boston Celtics run, and y'all two guys should be old enough to remember this. The 86 Celtics, how that run came together and how easy that run was, and for them to beat Houston. But not just that, the way Porzingis played, I kept saying Bill Walton is kind of in the air, because I'm telling you, he wasn't it wasn't the best that we seen from Portland, but he came off that bench and gave a big spark. What are your thoughts so far on the finals? And do you kind of agree with me with where I'm coming from with this? If you're not, it's all good.
Who you got answering first? Hurricane or
Go.
Fred?
Let's go in. Let's go in first on this.
All right.
First of all, BK, I don't know how old you think we are, but me and Fred, we graduated high school in '03. That mean we born in '85. I mean, we ain't watched the finals in '86,
Ooh.
baby.
I thought you might have watched at least some
Right,
old
no, man.
highlights. At least
Now, but this is one of those situations. I was big advocate on our show, and I said it on Facebook, where I knew the Timberwolves was going to beat the Nuggets. And we talked about, it was like it was disagreeable, but I had, like, my reason why was the bench that the Timberwolves had was better than the bench that the Nuggets had. Then they had that, it was a game 7. Then you come into the against the Mavericks, and Kyrie played out of his mind. Luka was Luka, but the thing that they did was they was burnt out from that that series.
Yeah.
They had to still, the Dallas had to fight against Minnesota. Outside the last game, nothing was easy for them in that series. They won the total series. Outside, if you take away the last game, they won the games by a total of 18 points. That's with all wins combined. So they battled. The Celtics ain't been doing that. And that's without Porzingis. What Porzingis allowed them to do was you took away the easy basket from
Kyrie Irving.
from not even Kyrie, from Luka. You took the easy floats, the 13 points a game that Lively was getting, the 17 points a game that Gafford was getting off of alley oops. They only had one alley oop in 2 games. The biggest reason why I believe that Boston will win the series is Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday could eliminate either Kyrie or Doncic. One or the other. One of them is going to eat. He's going to eliminate the other one. You can't win it by yourself. That's one. 2, have y'all noticed how quiet Tatum has been playing?
Yeah.
It's because Tatum and that team has been there before. They learned what Tatum did the first time. He tried to do it by himself. He was jacking up all these shots and all this stuff. Now he's like, hey, Derek White can eat. Drew Holiday can eat. Let Jaylen Brown, I don't care what they say. The main focus is getting that Larry O'Brien trophy hosted up. I don't have to be the man. I don't have to be the man. And when you look at, I think as talent-wise, the best talent is with Luka and Kyrie. That's 1 and 2. But when you go from 3 to 17, they all wear green and white. A team will always be an individual. And with Drew Holiday or Jaylen Brown eliminating one of them, they're making it got to be Luka or nothing. He had a 30-point triple-double the other day. And the crowning joy was they cut it down to 8. They cut it down to 8, and they still lost by 18. Facts is facts.
Before Fred goes, I just want to say Kristaps Porzingis is not playing tonight.
We heard about that injury too. Yeah, he will not be playing. That's going to be probably a huge key. We'll see what happens in this one. But Fred, can you answer that question?
Go ahead, Fred.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead.
It's not about the matter. It's not about the matter. It's not about the matter. Listen, at the end of the day, this series is over with. This series is over before it started. Game 1 gave you the real glimpse of they can't beat us. They can't. You seen the amount of turnovers? I'm talking about on-ball turnovers that Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown had game 1. Stripping Kyrie Irving throwing the ball out of bounds and everything, just ripping them. But they could do that 4 games. The Dallas Mavericks have 1 game plan. ISO with Luka, ISO with Kyrie, and transition points, trying to get alley-oops. That's the game. That's not about to work. That's not going to win you 4 games. It's just not going to happen. Dallas shoots 3-ball better. They play defense better, and they rebound better. And they can outscore you. And you're not about to score 110, 15 points because you got 2 guys who need to score 30. The Mavericks don't have to play their best game to beat the Mavericks. I mean, Boston don't have to play their best game to beat the Mavericks. The Mavericks, however, got to play their best game just to win the game. Not having Kristaps Porzingis don't change anything. It changes nothing. They'll win the game. And matter of fact, if they don't win tonight, the NBA is screwed. Because the ratings for game 4 are going to go down the tubes.
You think so? Even with it being 2-1?
If the Dallas don't win tonight. If it goes down,
If Dallas don't, okay, I got you.
No one's watching game 4. No one's going to care. No one's going to matter. So it's a punter that Dallas has to win game 3. If not, no one's watching this. The outcome is already there.
It's already set.
It's already set. The Boston Celtics are going to win. They're the better team. They're the better coach team. And that's no disrespect to Jason Kidd at the moment. I think he's a good coach. But they're a better coach team. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Boston has learned from their mistakes and being in these moments. Right now, it's just about winning that Larry. It's about winning that trophy. Jason Tatum eventually is going to have a game where you say, okay, he's back to being Tatum. He's box office. But they don't need that for them to win the series. Right now, to me, Drew Holiday is my finals MVP. What his assignment had to be on one of those two guys, particularly Kyrie Irving, and in last game 2, he come out, he outscores Kyrie Irving and limits Kyrie Irving in the second half. Kyrie Irving has 8 points in the first quarter, in the last 3 quarters, meltdown. Listen, bro, Dallas don't have a solution for that. What they gonna do? What adjustment they gonna make?
When Drew Holiday came, and it's amazing in itself, and I just knew right then and there this could be big for Boston, because the fact of the matter is that's a huge upgrade from a Marcus Smart. A Marcus Smart there's a nice defensive player, but it's a hothead. But you got somebody level-headed with championship experience and took a lot of pressure off the Greek Freak in Milwaukee. Man, that is huge in itself, and that's a huge difference. And like I said, the last time we saw a Boston team that dominant was that 86 team. That's how good this Boston team is. George Peppers, go ahead with your question. You got George?
Can't hear George. George?
Make sure you mute.
George, you got your mute on? You got your mute on, George? George, is your mute on?
Mute must be on.
Log off, log back in, George.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Go ahead, VK.
Yeah, but besides all that,
Hurricane.
Go ahead.
So y'all are older than us. So you think that 86 team was more dominant than the Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul George? I mean Paul Pierce, Rondo team?
I'm gonna say this: the Paul Pierce team was really, really good. They were really good. I'm saying they 86 team. If you go back and look at it, and you need to go back, not just look at the highlights, but look at the stats and everything. When you look at this team here, it reminds you of that team because of not just how complete they were and everything else. You know what I'm saying? It was just the fact that a team with a lot of experience coming back, but then on top of that, you add somebody that's coming off the bench that gives you a spark, and then all of a sudden you look at the run 2 of it. You know, not knocking that Garnett team, it was a great team, but you look at how dominant it was between that and 86 when you look at the numbers now for this year. Because you look at the 86 team, it's similar because you look at not just the dominance, but you look at the teams in the run, and it's like almost cakewalk city comparing to the Garnett team. Remember, the Garnett team had to play almost 7 games except for the finals when they won it in 6. So it's a huge difference.
They beat Kobe.
They did beat Kobe, but they beat him in 6 games. But even before then, what was amazing, even with that team, every other game in the Eastern Conference, including the first round, they went 7 games.
I'm going to say this. That Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce team, Ray Allen team would have beat the 86 team. They would have beat them. Larry Bird would have had trouble trying to score on Paul Pierce. I'm telling you right now.
I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, he would have.
I don't know, bro. I can't say that. I'm sorry.
I'm saying
sorry. I'm sorry. I understand because you're young.
And Bill Walton wouldn't have done a darn thing coming off that bench.
He probably would not. He probably would not.
But
he probably would not. KG would kill him. But I'm gonna say this. I think Paul Pierce and Larry Bird will be a great matchup. And I ain't gonna lie. You need to go back and look at
highlights
of Bird.
I ain't gotta go back. I saw Bird growing up. I gotta go back.
Bird was a dog, bro. Bird was a dog. I love Paul. Bird was a dog.
Go ahead, Hurricane.
Go ahead.
KG would have guarded Larry Bird. It wouldn't have been Paul Pierce that guarded Larry Bird. It would have been KG.
But the difference is, though,
that's interesting.
Who would have guarded Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale? That's why I wouldn't have had KG on Bird.
I see. I got that. But then the next question is, what era are you playing in? Are you playing in the 3-point era, or are you playing in their era? That's the biggest question. Because if you playing in the KG area, then then Robert Parrish got to guard KG, and KG got mid range. So he ain't gonna be a factor on defense at all.
True.
And they can run. Let's call a spade a spade. There's a way better athletes. The water boy was a better athlete than the point guard for the Boston Celtics in '86.
Yes.
Yeah, the point guards are way better than the
Davis come off the. I don't know if Rasheed was on that first team. If Rasheed was on the team, I don't know.
Who's that?
He made that lost, but
Rasheed who?
Wallace.
Nah, Wallace was.
Wallace.
Wallace was
Trailblazers in the Pistons.
Yeah.
So he played.
Yeah.
Yes.
He got that ring with the Pistons.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but he wasn't on that Boston team that won the championship.
No.
That was Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins. Who should have been more better of a player than he was. Just saying.
No.
Bet you don't tell him that.
No, I'm saying this. Here's the thing, and I'm just gonna say this and move on. Kendrick is not good at all, like talking about it. But in the beginning of that season, the beginning of that championship year, remember, Kendrick Perkins in the first 18 games was averaging 17 a game and 10 rebounds.
Because they were trying to figure it out.
Exactly. But the thing is, what I'm telling you is, you just wish he would have stayed like that.
That's because not who he is.
That's what I'm saying.
Definitely not who he is, and that definitely wasn't going to happen.
No, he ain't going to sustain that. Boy, you crazy.
He could barely sustain. He could barely sustain the conversation.
Oh wow!
So it's almost like no confidence. It's like the hell with it. 18 games. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get from Kendrick, and things are gonna go down from now.
He better be fortunate he got a ring.
Fortunate he got a ring, and fortunate he getting a pension, and he lasted that long.
AKA the broke black preacher. That's what we call it.
All right, George Peppers, go ahead, man.
But Steve, I'm going to stay on the finals, and I want to piggyback off something what you said, Fred, about Drew Holiday being the MVP of the series. Two things. First, how's Milwaukee looking without Drew? Messy, isn't it? All right. That's the difference maker, and that's validating your point of how good Drew Holiday is as a defender. And I said this in our chat, Jared, if you remember. I put this in our chat, that I thought a pivotal individual matchup was Drew Holiday against Kyrie. Yeah. And so far through 2 games, looks like Nostradamus has struck. With that said, the Celtics are not favored tonight. They opened the favorite, but a huge swerve of money went to Dallas. They are favored by 2.5 as of about an hour ago. Having not checked back, I'm not going to. I feel like I said this series was going to go 6. I think the Celtics are clearly the better team, but I feel like the energy tonight, game 3, they made a game of it in game 2, gave themselves a chance. I feel like the energy gets it done. But I want to talk about Joe Mazzulla to you, Fred, the head coach of the Celtics. After last year, when they gagged the Miami series, ain't nobody going to tell me different. That was a straight gag job. You went from 3-0 down to 3.
It was in game 7.
Right, but they choked in game 7. They stunk it up in game 7 at home.
Yeah,
how much pressure do you think he felt coming into this season, and how do you think he's coordinated this team, especially with the additions of Holiday and Porzingis, and to make them the juggernaut that they are? How much love are we giving Mazzulla this year?
Well, here's the thing, right? Last year he was thrown into the fire. Obviously, they had the Udoka situation. Right. He was thrown into the fire, and obviously. So at some point in time, you got to figure some things out. And I think that people were still trying to accept him as the head coach of the team, right? So when they got that far and they fought the conference finals, understand it was down 3-0 to the Heat.
They came all the way back.
They came back. So you learn through your process, right? This season here, everyone now understands that he's the coach. Understand. People still thought, for whatever reason, Udoka was coming back. He was not officially fired. He was on indefinite suspension. All those, what I call considered distractions. This season, there isn't a distraction. None of that. All that's behind them. And he learned from those moments, right? They still had the best roster coming to you. Don't believe me, believe the facts. They led the league in games 1. Number 1 overall seed, right? In the
64.
playoffs, they ain't played with nobody. Gave everybody the business. That goes for Miami. That goes for Indiana. And that goes for Cleveland. So he's learned and he's grown as at the position. So I got to give him credit for that. But however, he won't get the credit because he didn't construct this roster.
No, he didn't.
He's just
Brad Stevens did.
Brad Stevens did. The guy in the
Right.
front office is
Hmm.
the roster. He just promoted the head coach. He
Yep.
wouldn't. He wasn't originally hired to be head coach. He was promoted head coach due to the situation that happened.
Okay, Han, I want to come to you. What are your thoughts on the play of Drew Holiday, and really, where is he amongst the rankings of point guards in this league in your mind?
So when you think about Drew, you got to think about like we was blessed to see him with the Pelicans, and we knew he was special. And then it's like to appreciate the thing about the player Drew, you got to appreciate the man that he is.
Yeah.
The type of basketball that he plays is a no ego type brand of basketball. You know, with dealing what he did with his wife. You know, not knowing if he was gonna have a not, brain tumor. Doing all this stuff. His and like all this stuff was going up in the contract
Right.
to to overcome that and just to realize, man, look, I gotta be the best at what I can be. At first he was just known as a defender. Then he started what he did was he learned from the guys that he was defending against and
Mhm.
saying, if I'm making you burn this much energy on on offense against me, that means you really don't have nothing on defense. And now I'm about to start cooking guys. And to me, Drew Holiday is the best two-way point guard in the league. The best two-way point guard. No, there's some guys that are better offensively overall than him. There's nobody that's better defensively. There's
Right.
nobody that's better defensive than him. But the things to me that have me rank him as the third best point guard in the league is simply he has no ego. He
Mhm.
has no ego. So when he stepped on, like he, you made it a clear point to think about what he did at Milwaukee. 1 year Milwaukee win the ring. What they did, they went chase the shiny dollar. They went chase the shiny dollar. You got the shiny dollar, and you at home fishing while he's still playing. It shows you the importance of him. It shows you the respect. Like every guard that from the G League to whoever that goes up against Drew Holiday automatically says that he is the hardest person to go against in the league. So when you have that reputation and you have no ego, you're not trying to make it about yourself. He doesn't have to score the points, but he will. He showed you that in game two. He's fine with locking they guy down and saying, y'all go eat. And to me, that's a dangerous combination. Whenever you have an athlete that has all the tools to be the star, but doesn't doesn't have to be the star, that's to me, that's the whole difference of what Boston has done this year. Because they have Marcus Smart playing out of position because they didn't have a point guard.
That's
They
right.
didn't have a point guard for 3 seasons.
Yep.
Hmm.
Because they brought in Brogdon. Brogdon got hurt, and then they got rid of Brogdon so fast before he could get everything back from
Right.
the injury, and they just say Marcus Smart just come on, and they realized that wasn't going to work. When they got Drew Holiday, it was like, oh, we don't have because now what you did with Drew Holiday, and I think this is the biggest adjustment from last year to this year. I know the coach and all that stuff, the players, but what Drew Holiday did was it took the ball out of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown hand and bring it up the court. They can get down the court and get to their spot right now. And now the defense has to, and he's going to get the ball to the right person. That's why you see Al Horford minutes go down, but his production is so high. That's why you see them. The person I was mad at the whole trade that they lost was Robert Williams. I thought Robert Williams was so pivotal for them based off of how they ran their set, but that was M.A. Udoka's scheme. It wasn't Missoula's scheme. So like you hadn't seen a drop off, but you Derek White is having a career year. Jalen Brown is probably going to be if Drew Holiday doesn't get the Finals MVP, Jalen Brown will.
Oh, well.
And but look at the numbers. Everybody like you had 3 20-point scores, and nobody's talking about the guy who got them the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Drew.
No doubt. Second question. I'm going to come right back to you, Hen, for this one. VK and I had a spirited discussion a couple of days ago. The Los Angeles Lakers are still in the market for a head coach. It was widely assumed that Dan Hurley, when his name came into the fold, that I thought he would take the job, and I feel he made a mistake by turning that job down. It is the most reputable franchise in the NBA, the Lakers.
You think you made a
Most
mistake?
recon- I think Hurley should have went and took the money. 60
Well,
million. He should have took it. You're going to get bored at Connecticut. What better job can you get than LA?
Boy,
Second biggest market. Hold on.
he's the biggest name coach in college basketball right now.
Absolutely. He's carved out his legacy there. He's done won two straight titles. My question to the both of you, Hen and Fred, what are your thoughts on Hurley turning his job? And also, before you answer, I saw something a little while ago. The Pelicans may be in the market for a top assistant, James Borrego. Their top assistant is the lead candidate for Cleveland and their head coaching job. So just keep that in mind. But what are you guys' thoughts, both of you, on Hurley and turning down the Lakers, and where do the Lakers go from here?
may I answer this?
So don't know Fred is he said him first. Not Fred. He said him first.
It don't matter.
Go ahead.
The, so one of the things that we love to say on our show is you only as good as your situation. All right. The reason you got to understand the science behind them going after Hurley. Hurley is known as a
Right.
player development type person. They're not getting nothing out of their young stars that they should be getting. With that being said, do you know the state tax in California?
I know Florida don't have one, but I'm not sure about California. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
cool out there. I don't know.
it's 18%, which means
A
in
lot.
order for which means for them, he was gonna make only $5 million more as the Lakers head coach than he was at UConn. You lowballed him. That's why they didn't get him.
That's right.
If they would have gave him something where he was like 10 million, more than what he was making at UConn, there's no question, no doubt he's at LA. But when you talk about going from, and I can tell you this as a coach, when you go from having all the power over your athletes to having no power over your athletes, you better come with some compensation that backs it up. Prime example: who's the greatest college football coach of all time?
Nick
Nick
Saban.
Saban.
He only
Yeah.
lasted 2 years in the league. Why?
No play.
Different
Because
level of play.
Pro
when
millionaire.
it ain't the level of play, it was you gotta listen to
You can't control the
a
players like
20
you
year
can in
old
college.
a 22-year-old kid who's making 50 million a year, and the owner's gonna back him and not you because hey, this 50 million is coming out of my pocket. When you at a college, that the kid can your star player can go cry to the AD, and the AD gonna look at him, son. Are you gonna pay his $20 million buyout? Nah, well I ain't get. Well, you can't. Well, you gotta do what coach say. You gotta do what coach say. That's it. Discussion over with. And look at what he's done at UConn. He's he's not only like recruited, but he's went and got top talent out the transfer portal to not go play in the SEC, not go play in the ACC, but to be a star in their role and say, "Hey, look, you're gonna get 10 minutes a game, and we gonna win the championship." You take all that and go into the Lakers. All right, what does the Lakers have besides LeBron James? Your best player is 40 years old. That is horrible, and there's no disrespect. I'm Fred to tell you, I love LeBron. LeBron, hey, that's my guy. That is my guy. But facts are facts. Your best player is 40 years old. You have the number 17th draft pick. You don't have no assets. You don't have no salary cap wiggle room. You're going to be signing people off 4th Street to
Lighthouse,
come fill out to fill out your roster. You
Lighthouse,
know, so I don't think uh, Coach Wooden would come out of his grave to come back to coach that in that situation. That is as I get it. The brand is the brand, but that is a horrible situation to go into as a coach. You know, this is what's worse about it. The Atlanta Hawks is a better coaching situation than the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
Yes.
Assets, young trade, young value to trade to build to get more assets in to build how you want to build. Your biggest trade piece is LeBron James. He's 40 years old. Your next biggest piece can't stay healthy. Name another person after that that you can count on that everybody in the league will be like, oh, give me him and I'll give you the world for. It's a horrible situation.
man, listen. Let me just add a little more syrup on what Coach Hurricane just said. Listen, as long as AD and LeBron James are Lakers, their teammates, it's a horrible job. In addition to what he said, you can't coach him. You can't coach LeBron James. You seen what he did with Darvin Ham? You seen what he did with Frank Vogel? Let me make this part clear.
Luke Walton.
Frank Vogel was 19-8 at playoff record. He won 50% of his games regular season. He won a chip and he got fired. That's not an opinion. That's a fact.
That's fact.
He got fired. Why would I want this job knowing I got my two best players? I can't coach them. I can't tell him nothing. Matter of fact, the oldest one will go ahead and just tell me he gonna drop his own play on the sidelines and do what the hell he want to do. Not an opinion, just a fact. But why would I want to coach this? No, as long as him and AD in Clutch Sports are in Lakerland, I don't want a job. They can hire JJ Redick. I don't want no part of this. None. What Coach Darren Hurley will want is a young team, like coaching, not even a young team, a team with assets and he can coach and he can develop. That's the perfect situation. That's not the Lakers. I'm not taking that money. But guess what happens in 2 years and you keep winning a championship with LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Your stigma as a head coach is people think you can't do this at this level. It's all downside for me. Why would I want it? Now, if I'm JJ Redick, no one expected me to be a head coach anyway. So if I come in here and coach and don't win, I can always go back to broadcast because that's what people expect me to be at anyway. It's a win-win for him. But for a real coach like Dan Hurley, that's a lose-lose. Now, he had to take the interview because it's the Lakers.
Correct.
You have to take the interview.
Yes.
You have to. It's the Lakers. You got to take the interview. But there was no way in hell I'm taking that job. None. No reason. Not a goose egg.
Personally, I want to thank the both of you two guys for making the point for me. I put that post when they reported that Dan Hurley was a candidate, and what I said on that post, Dan Hurley, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Because everything is all the grass is not green on the other side, and all money ain't good money. There's only one situation I said and I changed my mind on, and that was Deion Sanders. I changed my mind on it because I seen what the situation
we convinced you to.
No, yeah, you convinced, and you was right.
Yeoman Stadium, PK, remember?
I had to do deep research outside of you convincing, and when I seen that overall situation, that made me change the mind. That's a different situation. But here, Dan Hurley, you have to think, why would I go to a team that has head coaches being off with their head left and right, no consistency, no nothing? This team is right now on like bottom of the barrel. Right. Atlanta maybe is a better situation, but the Hawks be hawking. They can't get over the hump. They can't even get to the final.
Like Hurricane and Fred said,
yeah, but
he's a developmental coach.
Exactly.
You can
exactly. That's exactly what you're saying. I think Atlanta is better. Any small market would be better than the Lakers. But and then you look at it too. UConn's got a big recruiting class coming. Then on top of that, the icing on the cake, Dan Hurley's home. He's from Jersey. Connecticut's not that far from Jersey. He's home and he's doing his thing as a two-time champion going for 3.
Now, if you're telling me he got to coach the Brooklyn Nets, I'm telling you, we're having a different conversation.
I agree.
Without a doubt.
I agree.
We're having a completely different conversation.
I agree with that.
I wish he would coach the other New York team, but that's just me. As a Knicks fan, I'll take him if Thibodeau doesn't renew. If because there is a contractual thing up with Tom Thibodeau, and if he decides not to, look here, Dan Hurley. I mean, we got a young team in New York, MSG. They were.
I got a question. Why are you a Knicks fan? What? Just like
Originally
from. I got an issue with people that are Knicks fans because that's like the most non-successful franchise. You talk about Hawk be hawking, the Knicks be nicking. The Knicks be nicking. Y'all be knickerbockering. Man, I'm talking about like the best y'all ever had was a dunk, the John Starks dunk over Michael Jordan. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cream of the crop y'all got.
I hate to say it.
Let George answer why.
Go ahead, George.
Yeah, the man, Mr. Interruption himself right here. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, damn. But to your point, Coach, I'm a Knicks fan because I was born and raised in New York. I grew up in the Bronx, and my love for the Knicks started in the '70s. That was the Dave DeBusschere, Walt Frazier, Willis Reed teams as a baby, and I grew up with Bernard King. Bernard King was a hell of a scorer back in the day. All right, so my fandom goes there. My wounds are big because of Michael Jordan. They would lose to the Chicago Bulls. It was like the '93 season was the season I thought, yeah, this is it. Because they won the first 2 games at the Garden. I said, yep, the Bulls are toast. Nope. Michael said, hold up, boys. Let me rewrite this script. 94. Let's go to 94, shall we? The Rockets final. Game 6. 3-2. New York leads that series. Pat Riley, I wanted to drop kick Pat Riley that night for letting John Starks get off 25 shots. He wasn't hitting nothing. He could have thrown a beach ball at the foot of the ocean. That ball wasn't finding the ocean. So, yeah, the wounds run deep. And this year, I didn't think they were a finals team. I thought they could get to the conference final, and a wound got to a game 7 against Indiana. A wound in his hand in game 7. But they were missing Bogdanovich, a 7-footer that could take you outside and score. They were missing Julius Randle, who really found himself in New York. I mean, my fandom runs deep. And look, I get what you're saying. The Knicks be nicking. I don't know what, look, there's too much heartache with this New York Knicks team since 1973. I'm just going to be real with you. All right? I'm just going to say it like it is. I don't know who your favorite team is. And, I actually will dare to ask you if you have a favorite team, Coach.
So like with the NBA, I never had a team. I never had a team. To me, the NBA is too soft, especially after like the 80s and whatnot. Because I have my favorite player of all time is Shaq, and my second is LeBron. I don't have a NBA team, but like I appreciate that because I'm a lifelong Saints fan. I remember that $35 ticket. Me and my grandpa used to go sit right there off of Gate G with the brown paper bag. So look. The only difference about my team is we had one shot at the championship, and we undefeated in the Super Bowl. We undefeated.
I think the 11 team was better than the 09 team, but that's just me. The 11 Saints team was better than the 09 team.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it was the best roster that we've ever had to
and lost to the 49ers because your coach tanked that game, Greg Williams. Your defensive coordinator put. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
First, the reason why we lost that game, Deontay Wilder pulled out our trump card in Pierre Thomas. He broke his jaw on the goal line.
Yes, he did.
That
was dirty.
That was said in the huddle. Take one of them suckers out.
I'm talking about when he broke his jaw. It was I was like, goodness. It was that right there was like I was like, yeah, we ain't winning this one.
You got to realize also
we came back
they had it out. I'm gonna let you go, Fred. They had it out for the Saints from the preseason game that year because Harbaugh said when they talked, they didn't discuss anything about blitz packages coming, and he said the Saints blitzed them on third down like every time. So they had it out for the Saints. That playoff game, they had revenge on their mind. Go ahead, Fred.
First of all, George, quick question: Mets or Yankees? You say you
Oh,
from the
Jesus Christ. Oh boy.
this
Again, here's
oh,
I must be a fan of torture. I'm a Mets fan.
oh my goodness.
Okay, I
Bad.
am.
Bad.
So
You're bad. You're bad.com. You're
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, hey, look,
hey, you
hold
want
on,
me to
hey,
be honest, or you want me to
look,
lie
look,
to
I
you?
got
Come on.
family from New York. I got family from New York, man. Look,
hey,
most of my family from
hey,
Brownsville, baby. They are down
you're
hard
a Jets fan.
Yankee
You
fans.
must be a Jets fan.
Call
Hold on,
them
keep going. We gotta
No,
go down
I'm a
the rabbit
Giants
hole.
fan.
So you're a Knicks fan, huh?
Knicks, Giants, Mets.
Oh, I say you. I mean, you
Yeah, I'm a
might as well
Giants
be a
fan.
Jets fan. I mean,
I
you
might as
got all the
well just go
disappointment
for the
with your.
trifecta, right? I mean,
Well,
yeah, just exactly. A
disappointment with
lot of my
your.
family is in that trifecta, but they're Jets fans. I'm not. I'm a Giants fan.
Well, I mean,
So,
at least you got some victories. I mean, good lord.
whoa,
I mean,
I'll
boy, I'm
take
about
that.
to say, boy, he a Mets fan, Mets. Boy,
well,
what? Who made you want to watch this?
All right, guys.
uh,
All right. So we got about 30 minutes left. So let's move along. We're all gonna ask one question each and switch. All right, VK and George. I'm gonna start with Fred, and then Hurricane can answer after them. I'm gonna stay on the topic of the New Orleans Saints. Defensively, they return. Offensively, new offensive coordinator. What are your thoughts about the Saints this upcoming season? Fred, you go first.
Well, I like the addition of Clint Kubiak in the new offensive weapons. I mean, obviously coaching too, not just not just the coordinator, but the new offensive coaches. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about to see how they're going to use that personnel. I'm excited to see Alvin Kamara back. He's going to be healthy in his offense. Obviously, his offense is going to be a little more predicated what things that Derek Carr can't do. Um, I do see some shortcomings with his offense, though. Um, I still think we like what I call a number one receiver. I mean,
Yeah.
we got wide receiver one in Chris Olave, but to me, he's not a number one receiver. So I think as the season goes on, I think that's going to be something that's in the future. Maybe not this season, but at some point we got to address. But I like it's going to be a balanced team and it's going to be off. I don't have big expectations. I don't have conference championship or expectations. So I think the Saints could win the division because the NFC South is probably the worst division in all of the NFC. So that's my expectations. But I don't have conference championship or Super Bowl. This is going to be a curve. And I think Dennis Allen retain his job by winning the division and making a playoff berth.
Hurricane.
For me, this is the total opposite of the Joe Mazzulla conversation we had. Um, he inherited Ime Udoka's team, right? So that first year, it was all image, like in his image. You know what I mean by that for the Saints is since Dennis Allen became the head coach, the defense has been stellar. The defense has
Right.
been stellar. The offense was still Sean Payton's offense. You kept Pete Carmichael. You kept like everything that Sean Payton was doing, you was trying to do, but without the brain of Sean Payton. So it felt lackluster. In comes a guy who Clint Kubiak, who knows what he wants to do. All right, who knows what he wants to do. That and every game that we lost last year, it was because of offensive production.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, and it was, and I'm not even talking about offense production as far as points on the board. I'm talking about offense production as time of possession. The defense, which is the best unit on a team for you, was out there 90 plus snaps in every loss that you have. I don't care what level of football you're coaching at. That is a recipe for failure. So you put in, and I don't have any concerns about like they have a number one in Chris Olave. They have a solid number two in Rashid Shaheed. The thing is now I want to see what Derek Carr was really brought here for. Derek Carr is not a quarterback that Sean Payton would have had. He doesn't
No.
fit the Sean Payton offense. Derek Carr does fit the West Coast style offense. You got a West Coast style coordinator in.
Right.
It's about to be like night and day now. The only concern I have is what we're going to do offensive line wise. That's the only concern I had. I know we drafted the kid out of Oregon State. I'm projecting him to play guard. The problem is you didn't get better at tackle. The guy that you drafted a couple of years ago, Trevor Penning, he's not a tackle. When we
No.
drafted him, I said he's not a tackle in the league. And worst case scenario, you should have put him in guard. You'd have put him at guard all last season. Andrews Peach was still been on his team because Andrews Peach showed that he was capable of playing tackle. Ryan Ramczyk is the decline of him is not because of he's a bad player, is he's having health issues and he's even contemplating retirement. So we hadn't replaced that. If you don't have a tackle in the league, you're ask the Chiefs. As great as Patrick Mahomes was, the Super Bowl that they lost to Tampa Bay was not. They didn't get beat up front, even like in the middle. They got beat to sleep on the edge.
Yeah.
On the edge, like I'm talking about shit. They was having a field day left and right coming from the tackles getting collapsed. So to me, that's my biggest concern. I think if the offensive line, and then that's a lot with play calling. If the play calling gets going good to where like the defensive line doesn't have a time to like really reset the offensive line of scrimmage, balls coming out quick. We got a good, run pass ratio going on. I really believe that because of how weak the NFC is, that the Saints could be a dark horse contender for the conference championship game. Not winning the conference championship. I still think we got some issues to finish, but I'm talking about to get there because I don't have faith in Dallas. The cream of the crop right now is San Francisco, but because they have to pay, they've been paying so many people over the years that Ross is getting thinner and thinner. Ross is getting thinner and thinner, and let's see what Philadelphia is coming back with. New coordinators for the second year in a row. Are the guys going to buy in? The talent is there. That's not a doubt in the mind about that. But there's nobody in the division that is better than us outside of those four teams that we talk about. I mean, those three teams and Detroit, can't forget about them. Those four teams, it's nobody else that scares me as a Saints fan. So, like, if you're saying like that, if those four are the cream of the crop, and I'm saying a dark horse contender is what number 5 or 6 person that's in there, Saints is like 5 or 6, just based off the defensive side alone. If the offense comes along with it, we'll shock a lot of people this year.
Go ahead, VK Jones.
Let's have a little fun, gentlemen. Let's have a little fun on this question. I know you a little bit younger than me, like you said, but I think the difference between the Knicks and the Hawks, the Knicks has made the finals. The Atlanta Hawks has never been, but there was one year that the New York Knicks made it as an 8 seed to the finals, and last year the yes, I'm asking this question, guys, because like I said, we have sports experts. We need them to. We need
It's
to
just
ask
the
this
fact
question.
that everybody hasn't agreed with you, and you still trying to find somebody to agree with you. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Who's that greatest
Well, to
8
tune the
seed
band up,
ever?
Jared.
The New York Knicks in '99 or the Miami Heat of last season? And
The Heat.
remember,
The Heat.
hallelujah. Thank you.
Wrong.
What you say,
Thank you.
Hurricane?
Wow.
Wait. You said the Heat of last year are the Knicks of what year?
99.
99. They
The
did
eighth
it was
seed.
the eight. It was the 8 seed. They got to the finals. Lost to the Spurs.
Is that Allen Houston and all them?
Patrick Ewing,
Yes.
they were
Yes.
The Knicks.
hurt.
The Knicks.
They were
The
hurt.
Right.
Knicks. John Stark, Ron Harper. I mean not Ron Harper. Alvin Harper.
Derek Harper.
Allen Houston. Yeah.
Derek
Derek
Harper.
Harper. It was a Harper guy.
Marcus
Derek Harper.
Camby, Larry Johnson.
Yeah. That team. Because and the reason why I say this is it was Jimmy and them. I just named a whole bunch of people, and I still didn't name Patrick Ewing.
Pat was hurt.
He was hurt.
Is
Yeah,
I
no,
get it.
but like that's what I'm saying.
There's a lot.
That's my reason of picking the Knicks over last year Because like
Miami.
it was Jimmy Butler and the rest of those guys,
But
and I
see,
just named everybody, not named Patrick Ewing, and that team
but,
still made it to the finals.
but
Let
see,
Fred jump in and
go ahead,
explain
Fred.
why he said the Heat. Let Fred explain why he said
First
the
of
Heat.
all, the lockout year, no one cared. That's the first and foremost. Two, Jordan retired, so Knicks finally get a breather. Him a damn
Oh
Knicks.
wow.
Listen, the Miami Heat had to beat Giannis. They had to beat Boston. They had to beat some people. Who the Knicks beat?
Miami Heat, Tim Hardaway and them, in 5 in the first round.
Boy, Tim
Then he took
Hardaway
out Indiana.
carrying nobody, man. Stop all that, man. He ain't
Oh man,
no
they
Giannis.
just lost to the
That's
Bulls.
cool right
Is
here.
Tim Hardaway Giannis?
The year before.
Is Tim Hardaway Giannis?
It's Tim Hardaway
Thank you.
Giannis. No, Tim Hardaway not
All right,
Giannis.
they
But
beat
he
the
had
Bucks.
It's not.
but he had
They beat
Alonzo
the
Mourning.
They
Hey,
beat the Bucks.
He had Jamal Mashburn.
They
yeah,
beat the
PJ Brown.
They beat the
man,
Bucks.
look, Fred, you got to stop with the notion of it was a lockout. Yeah, I'm so tired. Do y'all take?
Out
Do
here,
you,
man.
Here-
All
here-
that, man.
you
Play
be
like
quick
50
to say,
games, man. Ain't got time for all
here's,
that.
here's my
hey,
collective
you be
reason.
quick.
Hold on,
Wait,
BK. Hold on.
Go ahead,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Fred. Go ahead.
you be so quick to say a lockout year, this and that when the argument face you. Do you take a championship away from Tom Brady for winning the COVID? No,
Huh?
but you question him. You don't take that one from him because he's your guy. He's a mission guy. But
They
you
need
don't.
to play.
But you put an asterisk by
Sure.
the one that LeBron got in the bubble. They both was in COVID. I don't understand that rationality. Somebody need to help him with that. But y'all,
I got an asterisk by the one with the Lakers one. I got an asterisk. By it.
do you have an asterisk by the one that Tom Brady won? Exactly. All right. Do you
Still
have
play.
an asterisk by the? Do you
They
have
still
an asterisk by the one? Do you have an asterisk by the one that Tim Duncan won? He won in the lockout year. You don't have an asterisk by that one. I don't hear that. Do you have an asterisk by the
what we
one
talking
that?
about.
Do you have an asterisk by the? You have an asterisk by the one that Hakeem won? If Jordan was in the league, he was swinging a baseball bat. You don't have that, so you can't swing. I just hit you with facts.
Ain't no
I,
asterisk by
I
that.
just,
Rockets
I'm
won
not
back
about to
to
let
back.
you do
Ain't
that.
no asterisk by that. Ain't
Uh,
nobody
look,
how he did that.
Hey,
yeah,
Fred, hey, Fred.
I'm just telling you. I just tell you like it is. You can't cook a cake without all the recipe and say I just did and put a little icing on top and say you did something special with it.
He
Shit,
needed
they sell icing at the dollar store.
Hey,
not
Fred, I got you. I got you on this. Let
Oh,
me
you
get you on this.
I want to hear this. You got
Let
it.
me,
Oh,
let
me
me,
Go ahead.
too.
Go
I got
ahead.
you. Let me,
I want to hear
I'm
this.
listening.
I got you, Fred. I got you. Here's the thing, Hen, and the reason why I say the Heat, because here's the thing about that. Yeah, who the people you just named for the Knicks? The majority of them top 5 in the draft, in the NBA draft, and experience in the playoffs, plus 5-game series comparing to 7. And then on top of that, you have to think about this, bro. You just made the point for us. Jimmy, and who else? We talk about the
Bama.
degree. We're talking about the degree of difficulty the Heat had to get to the finals. The degree of difficulty comparing to the Knicks. The Knicks had experience and then some, regardless of you
They
ain't
were an
being
8 seed, VK, just like Miami.
regardless of
He keeps saying
AC.
the Heat
You
didn't
got
have
you
experience.
got
The
you
Heat
got
went to
Larry
the
Johnson.
championship in
You have
2020.
Larry
What you mean
Johnson,
it had no experience?
Sprewell,
He keeps
all
saying
these
that.
other people that has
But you
been
didn't have
deep
Patrick
in the
Ewing.
playoffs.
Hello?
They
You didn't
just
Hold
have
had
on, Hen.
Patrick.
a
Who
couple
was your
years
center?
ago.
You
Go
had
ahead,
a
Hen.
Who was your center?
you had a shorter the Knicks had a shorter leash to mess up. You had to
Thank
win
you.
2 games. So you
All
had
right.
to be on your stuff. You couldn't sit back and say, all right, they won 2.
We'll
Now
shake
we got
back.
time to adjust. You win one more, it's over with. You
I'm
had
gonna
to
say
win.
this. I'm gonna say this. The most difficult series for the Knicks, and I'm gonna give them credit. The only difficult series I gave them is Indiana. And for them to win that to get to the
They
finals
went 5
was
games
amazing.
against the Heat in the first round. Allen Houston had to hit a game winner that
But see
bounced
what you
all
just
over the
said?
rim to go in.
5-game series in the first round compared to a 7-game series
Okay, you
now.
Oh,
gotta win it in 5, bro.
You
You
gotta
gotta
win
win
it
it.
in 7
You just heard
now.
Hen. You can go 2 games and still come back in 4. You
and
got 5. Go ahead, Fred.
1999, man. Listen, bro. Listen. You go ahead with all this, man. The money we care about David Robinson championship year, man. Listen, them people
oh,
had to beat the
damn.
Bucks. They had to beat the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
They had a road to travel. See, the Knicks had some expectations. People thought the Knicks there was no shot that the Heat was getting to the finals. The Knicks. Listen, the Miami Heat was a bubble, was a play-in tournament team. No one thought they was getting this far. Nobody.
Hey, you just made my point. Wasn't no play-in. So in 99, they would have been home.
Listen.
There's the end of the argument right there.
That's the fact.
The
That's
Knicks,
the fact. They needed 2 extra games just to say I could go to the dance. The Knicks punched their ticket the hard way.
Listen, people still had expectations for the lockout year.
Hey, facts is facts, Fred. They needed 2 extra. They needed 2 extra games and they needed 2 extra games just to get to the playoffs, and they needed an extra game in the series.
99, man. Listen, they might think about no damn Knicks. Knicks, they might the road was harder for the Knicks.
Fred, let me ask you a question. So, 99 was a lockout year. You're saying that's an asterisk there. That don't count. But when LeBron won his first championship with the Heat, they had a lockout too. They didn't start playing until Christmas. You got an asterisk by that one?
Huh?
See? He a barbershop sports fan, man. Anything that he can talk about.
Don't bring up 2012, man. Don't bring it up.
See, I'm glad you asked that question, Jared, because I was waiting for that one. I was waiting to pop in with that question.
And they played the Thunder, man. So guess what? Nope.
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were on that Thunder team. Two future Hall of Famers. Stop it.
They played the Thunder. Nope. They played Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and James Harden, and people still talking about that finals. Ain't nobody talking about 99, dog.
I mean, San Antonio was clearly the better team in 99. Let's not fool ourselves.
No one cared.
Hey, George, I'm going to say this. That Sean Elliott three-pointer over Rasheed Wallace, man. That changed the whole series against Portland.
It did, because if that doesn't go down, the Knicks might find some courage and stick with y'all. And I don't know if they'd have beat y'all.
This is how we call it. We had a 3-peat with the Lakers. We got a lockout no one cared about. Then we went on a Laker run. That's the history of the league. I talking about 99, man. We're talking about the Lakers, but the Bulls, then Lakers. No one cares about 99.
Okay, Jared, I got a question. How much did VK pay Fred to say this nonsense? That's what I want to know.
Anybody care?
That's what I want to know.
I want to know that question too.
The Bulls had a 3-run, then the Lakers had a 3-year run. No one cares about what happened in the middle.
If that's what we're doing, I'll be on your side all day, VK. If my Cash App thing, let me start saying
exactly. I would too.
Bulls had a 3-year run, then the Lakers had a 3-year run. No one cares about what happened in the middle.
All right.
Hey, y'all forgive Fred. His favorite player of all time is somebody who's not even the number one in a position of all time. So y'all just bear with him.
It's good. My question is okay. It's my question, I guess now, right? Let's talk.
Put some respect on that.
All right, I hear you. All right, duly noted. But let's talk about the Pelicans and this offseason upcoming. A lot of chatter has been talked about who should they move, or could they run this back? I don't think they're going to run it back. I feel like somebody's going to move. I feel like it's either going to be BI or CJ McCollum. I feel like they're gonna move one of those two. Kalubius, you tripping? You are straight tripping. But anyway, my question for you, Fred. First, I'm gonna go to you, Fred, because I got mad love for both of y'all. But Fred, let's talk about this Pelicans team. They're not gonna run it back. If you were David Griffin, well, 2-part question. Forget the if. Do you trust David Griffin to make the right decision? And what is the right decision to you? What's the first thing you're doing to try to reshape this Pelicans team? Obviously, we need a point guard. They need a point guard here. But what would you do looking at this team the way it's presently constructed? How would you fix it?
Well, first and foremost, to answer that question, they also need a GM. Trajan Lander also now going to Detroit.
Yeah, he went to Detroit.
President, so one, you got to start there. Secondly, it's unfortunate, but you're moving BI. And you're moving BI because this team has too many guards and wings. And his production now, it hasn't translated for this team to win postseason time. So his production doesn't matter. Zion Williamson such a marketable player to where he still puts media-wise fans in seats. He's not a better player than B.I. because B.I. plays the right way, but this team has too many guards and wings on it. You got Jordan Hawkins, you got Herb Jones, you have Trey Murphy, who needs to start now. He has to be and B.I. And the thing is, Herb Jones is the true 3. He's nothing really else. He's a wing through and through, right? He's not, that's what he. So when you have all that, right? And those guys need minutes. At the end of the day, if you're gonna start demanding better production from Trey Murphy and guys like Jordan Hawkins, well, the minutes got to come from somewhere, and so the rotation got to get a little more crunch. So it doesn't really have room for a player like Bi. Now, if they'd have had any, and here's the worst part about it, right? If they'd have won any games of that playoff series against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I might have a different tune. They got swept. So the demand for Zion for this team is at an all-time high, because when they made it with B.I., they didn't win the game. And that's enough edification to say, okay, he's a great basketball player. It doesn't mean he did anything wrong to the organization, what have you. But to move forward, the younger players that we drafted, that we have on cheaper contracts, because B.I. is in the contract year. B.I. he can sign the 4-year deal, $208 million. Do you want to pay that for a player who hasn't really helped you win the playoff series? The answer to that question is no. It's a financial decision. It's not a basketball decision. Why would I pay the 4-year, $208 million for a guy who hasn't helped me with a series yet? It's not personal, but it's an economic thing. But the Pels do need a point guard. So you can make a decision like that. You could trade a B.I. because he's still a youthful player and potentially find a point guard that could fit this team, a guy like a Javante Murray. You get what I'm saying? There's some point guards out there that you can fit out there and put onto this team that can help boost this team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do that. You can't really do that with CJ.
No, you can't. Let me throw it to you. I saw a hypothetical where the Pelicans and Cavs would engage in a 2-for-2 swap, and it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. CJ and BI to Cleveland for Darius Garland and Jared Allen. What you're going to accomplish is getting a true point with Garland and Jared Allen, a movable 5, where Valanciunas is kind of older now, and you get a younger guy and Allen. I mean, Fred mentioned about BI, but let's talk about this from CJ McCollum aspect. Are you moving him to try to get a point guard? Because he's a 2. He's not a 1. He's a 2. So what are you doing with McCollum?
To me, that's the better move than getting rid of Bi. And here's the reason why. Keeping Valanciunas over Jason Hayes a couple of years last season was a bad move. You got to get younger and more skillful in this NBA day and age. You got to get guys that if they can't stretch the floor with shooting, they got to be rim runners and to be elite at that. CJ McCollum, like he Father Time is Father Time. All right. He doesn't have height. He doesn't have the elite quickness that he once had. He doesn't have the freedom that he had when he had Dame in the backcourt with him. Because you have BI and you have Zion. The issue is this. And this is the whole thing with regardless of who you move, who you don't move with the Pelicans right now. You have to sit down with Zion Williamson and have a heart to heart. What do you need to be successful? On the flip side, this is what we need from you for us to go get said things that you need. Because this is the first game
Did we lose Hurricane? There he is.
There he is, I think.
I thought so too.
Uh-oh.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
You there?
Okay. We didn't hit what you said. Can you repeat that, please?
I'm saying, I'm sorry about that. But I'm saying, Bi had to carry the franchise up until the point for when Zion got to this part where he was able to play the most games he ever played in the season.
Right.
So you have to literally have that heart-to-heart talk with Zion. Say, what do you need to be successful? this is what we're gonna do. And you have to start with a point guard and a center. I don't think moving BI is the move right now, but you have to get a point guard.
Before we head out, my question to you is to both of y'all. And Hurricane, you can go first. What point guard would you like to trade for? And I think Hurricane froze for a second, so we'll go to Fred. Fred, who's the point guard you would like to trade for?
My initial answer was Javonte Murray, out of Atlanta. I think he's my initial point guard. I can try to make that deal for because it could be a trade where, and you need a point who can distribute the basketball but also play on ball. So that's my first initial point. Now, that's the most sensible, right? But if I'm being real, I'm going in. Like I'm packaging BI and I'm packaging CJ, and I'm making a call. I think they about to blow this. I'm making the call. I really am. I need to find out what's his value. I need to figure out what it takes. What's up with Steph? What's good?
Whoa.
I swear to God, I am. I'm making the call. I need to see what's up. You need 4 first round picks, BI and CJ? Bye. You put Steph Curry in that team with Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and Trey Murphy, and the rest of that young team they got down there. Boy, what? Make the call.
Yep.
It's not that they say I'm making the call. I'm about to find out.
You trying out. You trying.
Listen, if Clay leaves in free agency, I'm making the call. I'm making the call. I got to know. I want to know. I want to know.
Hurricane.
If you gonna make a difference, go shoot for the stars.
Hurricane, what point guard are you trying to get down here?
Hey, I like what Fred going with it. I will go in a slightly different route. Who was in the same draft class as Zion Williams?
Ja, number 2.
I'm making a call. Hey,
making
look,
a call.
Hey, Memphis, y'all tired of his BS? He needs to change his because this is one thing as a coach and VK, I think you might can understand where I'm going with this. As somebody who's covered like high school sports for as long as you have in the city, one thing about a kid that's troubled, staying in the same spot does not change the trouble. The only thing that fixes the trouble is a total change of scenery, and getting him away from the spot where he got comfortable. Like, because his dad can't act like he does in Memphis and New Orleans. We ain't having that. Little Peter from the third wall gonna do something to you. So you might need to come. You have to tone that down a little bit. Not saying that Memphis ain't the same, but we move a little different down here. But getting him with a running mate like, hey, they grew up in the AAU system together. They, they know each other through the draft process and all this stuff. And now you got young explosion left. You got it from the front end, from the back end, and then on the wing you got Herb. Like who we giving up? I don't mind it if I understand like getting somebody young. You might have to give up Trey Murphy. Oh well, you give up Trey Murphy. That means you still got Bi in the fold. Now you got experience. Let's get it. Let's get it because the way Memphis is moving is they're not trying to protect him. It's like they didn't drew up their hands. So if you didn't draw up your hands, I'm gonna have my hand out. Let's go.
Make the call.
Make the call because I think that's the one problem I think the NBA as a whole have when you go to move, you go for the superstar vets, but you don't look at the age. It's like, yeah, they might be there for a good time. I want the person that's there for a long time.
Before we get out of here, guys, how can our viewers watch your show?
Well, if you're on Facebook, Fanview Live. If you're on IG, it's Fanview Podcast. If you're on YouTube, it's Fanview Podcast. If you're on TikTok, it's Fanview Podcast. If you're on X, it's gonna be Fanview NOLA. So those are the platforms that you can watch, subscribe, get linked up to the channel. We do so many episodes, so many different interviews with, current coaches, players, you name it. We have these episodes, and the episodes get real detailed about, these guys' experiences as former players, current players, coaches. We didn't have actors, rappers. He can attest to it. We've had it, in a good abundance and a variety of so many different episodes and different interviews, whether it's sports or not, on the Fanview Podcast. And we got a saying on our podcast: we can't stop, we won't stop. Along with you two guys.
Without a doubt, yes, definitely. Definitely. Kid, you got something to say?
Oh man, just appreciate the invitation. It's all love from our end. Love to see the city grow.
Yeah.
That and our whole mission is to give this generation something that our generation didn't have when we was growing up. We didn't have a platform like this. We didn't have people just willing to like bring people into their lives and just give them abundance of advice of, hey, this is what I did wrong. I don't want you to do this wrong, but this is the stuff that I did to make it. This is the stuff that you got to go do. And I think that's what resonates with our fans and the people that just tune into our platform, because it's so authentic. When you hear somebody like David Yak Johnson, one of the best coaches in college football, tell you on our platform here, he's never said it nowhere else outside of his book that, man, I slept in my car. I got paid my first coaching job. I got paid $8,000 a year, and like and now there's that guy that wants to coach. Like, man, if Dave Johnson did this, I can do this.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You have, like, we just did one with Skylar Green. Skylar's talking about the stuff that he went through with Hurricane Katrina, getting drafted, all the expectations in this and that, and watching people and bringing different people into his position, and like what he had to do to get over that and move on and still try to make it. Like, it's somebody in the league that's sitting there like, man, that's me right now. That's me right now. I can't get, and that's what we want. That's what we pride ourselves on. That's where the can't stop, won't stop. We can't stop giving you the information so you won't stop moving on with your life.
Without a doubt. Fred, Hurricane Hen, it was a pleasure and it was a lot of fun having y'all on the show. Wish y'all the best.
Before
Yes,
you
Mr.
sign them off,
Yeah, there he go, George. There he go, George. Interrupting again. God damn. Go ahead, VK.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you
but
did.
whatever. But
Yeah, you did.
JB, with your permission, I'm saying these guys were awesome tonight. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot more to talk to them about. Can we bring them back before the football season? Because, man, we still have some stuff to ask y'all despite our time being run out. I feel like, for your permission, Mr. Jerry, can we bring these guys back before the football season starts?
See, if you didn't interrupt me, I was going to say that.
I'm sorry. I know you got a lot on your mind.
You should let people finish talking first. But yes, most definitely before the football season, let's bring them back and we can talk about some high school football in our area. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And what we'll do in the same sense, come on back to Marrero, baby. We got more brand to talk about. We got more some of these fights that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Who are some of these sneaky UFC guys that's coming up that's in your wheelhouse, Jay? Just all in all, like, whatever we can do to help, because somebody had to help us.
Correct.
Right? People forget that when we started ours, man, we were just on the radio. Then we started live streaming. Now we one of the best podcasts in the nation. It's damn sure in the South for sure. And if it didn't come without somebody helping us and and fellowshipping, and like, that's the only way you grow. You know what I'm saying? We believe in that. That's something that, because Fred didn't turn me down. We didn't turn nobody else down, because it helped us get to where we are to this day.
Bro.
Most definitely. Hey, just let us know. We're there, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Y'all got that. So, Fred, Hurricane, thank y'all, man, and we'll see y'all soon. And good luck with y'all podcast going forward still.
No problem.
Thank y'all very much for the shout out
Our
to the
pleasure,
hash it out.
dude.
Shout out to the hash it out. Even though VK must be on that 4th Street booger sugar thinking that what he was saying.
Damn.
Appreciate
All
it,
Oh,
right,
that's
man.
fellas.
cool.
Fuck it.
Appreciate you guys.
Celtics, boy, you're bad. You're bad.com.
You still bad.com, VK.
Bad.com. Oh well. I appreciate them guys
That
anytime,
boy,
man.
these Celtics fans, you crazy.
And
All right.
once again, JB, before we sign out, man, condolences
Yeah.
to you and your family. You know,
Thank you,
us
man.
at the
You
us
fam-
at the Fanview Podcast family and the New Orleans Talk Network family. You know, we'll be praying for y'all, and then we can do to help
Absolutely.
y'all out in this transition. Don't be afraid
Appreciate
to
it.
reach out.
Definitely, fellas. Appreciate it so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, fellas. Y'all have a good one.
Y'all have
You
a great
too.
one.
All right. All right, guys. That's the Fanview Live Podcast crew. And well, where did VK go? There he is. And my good friends at Fanview Live Podcast.
I was
And
trying to
we thank
punish myself right quick because I didn't meant to interrupt like that. So I apologize for
I
that.
got you, bro. You all right, bro? You all right? All right. So, guys, moving forward. I'm not used to having George's face on the screen. Now, once they left it as just us three, I was like, oh, that's George. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I know.
But, guys, before we get out of here, we are back next Tuesday and next Wednesday. Next Tuesday, we are back with Alex Day. He's going to come on at 7:30. He's going to talk a little bit of the College World Series with us. But right after that, we're going to have this big debate. Me, George, VK Jones, and our good friend Grant Shashere from Rougarou Sports Media. He's going to come on. And the debate is, who has the best receiving core in the state? Is it Destrehan? Is it Carr? Next Tuesday at 8:15, we will
Stay tuned.
discuss we will debate that. We ain't discussing. We're gonna debate who has the best receiving core in the state. So Tuesday, y'all tune in. We'll let y'all know about Wednesday at the Tuesday show. And I also want to say this: July will be Legends Month. We got 2 guests already confirmed for the show on July 3rd. Both of them played at LSU. One was a running back at LSU from 2009 to around 2012, 2013. He played running back at Leesville High School. The one, the only, Michael Ford. He's going to join us. And right after him, if y'all heard Hurricane Hen kind of said his name. He played at LSU from 2002 to 2006.
Green, LW.
Oh, yeah. L.W. Higgins' own Skylar Green will join us. We got them for July 3rd. They're booked for Legends Month. And we are still going to get more to join us for Legends Month. But those 2 are booked already. George Peppers, any last words before we go?
I don't know, but this has been fun tonight. This was chop it up tonight on the Hash It Out show. We did some chopping up, some vigorous debates, some fun stuff. This is what we do every week. And what you saw tonight, those of you that tuned in, and thank y'all for tuning in. Everyone that tuned in, however you tuned in, to IG, Facebook, or whatnot, or YouTube, thank y'all. And your interactions is what drives us to do what we do. You know, the
Let me stop you.
responses that we.
Let me stop you right quick.
What's wrong?
I'm surprised you didn't know about this, George, because you're a John Ehret alum. So Lost Motion on Instagram, he's asking, how do we feel about John Ehret's quarterback leaving? I didn't know about this.
Oh wow, you talking about the kid that the freshman that's gonna be a sophomore?
It gotta be number 9. And
I'm gonna have
I
to.
see he was on the Instagram. He joined, but he's not on right now. But Lost Motion just asked, how do we feel about him leaving? I didn't know. I didn't know about that, Lost Motion. That's
Wow, I
brand
didn't
new.
either.
That's
I
news
didn't
to
either.
us. Whoa.
And breaking news.
Wow.
I mean, because that was supposed to be their starting. If this is who we think it is, it's supposed to be their starting quarterback going into next season, and
Yeah.
you're already replacing one. You're already replacing a quarterback off this year's team, this past season's team, and Calamity potential. I mean, it seems like calamity with projectiles, with schedules, but man, this could not be there.
Okay.
And in June, that's not good.
Well, the thing is, Lost Boson just said he's going to Alexandria High School. So it sounds like he's moving to Alexandria.
I'm
Wow.
glad you mentioned it. I'm
Not
glad you
very good
mentioned
for him.
Alexandria. I'm sorry about that, but I'm
Not
glad
very
you
good
mentioned
for him.
Alexandria because I wanted to point out something today that you posted
Okay.
earlier on our chat. Our regards to the Bolton High School community. They have dropped football after a century. It is a sad day because I lived in Central Louisiana for 12 years and I learned a lot about the football that's out there. And Bolton was good when I started living, at the beginning of the time I was there, but they faded to almost oblivion when I left. They were a very good team back in the day, but they are not now. They are no longer. It's a sad day in Bolton that their football program is being discontinued. And my thoughts to those out there and at Bolton, look, I feel for you. I mean, the effort was there. It was never a lack of effort to try to keep this thing competitive, but it just wasn't meant to be. The football upgrade in Central Louisiana, you saw it this past season. A lot of Senlaw teams did really, really good, and they just found it harder to compete. But to finish up my last words, this was a great show tonight. I had a great time, even though I got savaged with my fandom. But I should have mentioned that I was a Michigan fan. Maybe that would have saved face. I mean, they are the reigning national. Maybe that would have saved some face. They are the reigning and defending national champions. I don't know if they'll do that this year, but that's a discussion for later in the summer into early fall when we get into college football. But VK, Jared, this has been fun. And Jared, again, prayers again to you and your family, my brother. You need anything, you already know what to do. Phone number one call away. VK.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. VK, your last words?
Well, George, when we bring back those guys, Fred is a Michigan fan, so you and him will
Yeah.
be on the same wavelength on that one. You know what I'm saying? But this was an awesome show. I apologize again for that last interruption because the fact of the matter is, I was hoping Jared was going to say that we need to bring those guys back because we still have a lot to talk about with them because this was a great show tonight. A lot of hodgepodge, a lot of good sports talk, and everything else. That's what the growth of this show is. And I'm very, very excited that we're continuing the Hash It Out show. And this is what, year 3 of this show now. So, in over 100 and
Coming up
something episodes. So, it's been,
48.
huh?
148. Yep.
148.
148 in 3 years. So it's just been amazing how this platform has been growing. It's great to have FanView to promote their platform and stuff like
Yep.
that. And it's unbelievable that we're not giving up on our dreams, that we're continuing to push regardless of athletes taking over the content thing, especially in sports media. That's a subject we definitely need to talk to them about. But at the same time, we got to still continue to push regardless of the fact of what's going on now and how to change this media. But I love that we're continuing to push with our product and especially with the year 2 of the game of the week and everything else. So we looking forward to some
I'm
great
glad,
things forward.
glad you said
Um,
that before I turn it. Jared, before I want to say one thing about the game of the week. Stay tuned because the three of us had very productive discussions and we pretty much have our schedule just about set. We're not going to announce it yet. We still got a few minor hurdles to cross. But when we get those 10 games announced, y'all will be the first to know. And I tell you, this is going to be a very, very high strung list. It's going to be fun stuff. We got a couple of travel dates, but it's going to be some fun football this coming season.
all right. Before we get out of here, Lost Motion, he asked, do we think he's going to perform at Ash High School? I can tell you he's gonna be a sophomore. So if they got a returning quarterback from last year, that was a starter, then he might have to wait till his junior year, but I think eventually he'll be your starting quarterback. But man, I did not know he was leaving.
I might do this some
Kalu-
digging.
Colubius, you do not live in central Louisiana. You are in the Baton Rouge area, sir. You are still part of southeastern Louisiana. Central Louisiana is Alexandria. What are you talking about? And he wants to know, is Eminem the greatest of all time? In my opinion, yes. My opinion. VK might think differently.
I love Eminem to death. He's number 2 on my list. My number 1 is Nas.
All right, there we have it. I don't know what George got.
But I don't think
I
I
mean,
don't think George is a rap fan. He's more maybe a
oh,
rock,
you're saying, look
rock
at
or
you.
R&B.
I
He might
listen
be
to
wrong.
look wait, hold on. I gotta defend myself. My genre of
Oh, go ahead,
music
go
is
ahead.
wide open. What you're not gonna get me to listen to is the old style country. That's the only one and the gangster rap. I mean the rap that, just desecrates women and all that stuff. That rap, no. The old school rap, let me tell you, Eminem is top dog, I think. That dude is just immensely talented. He's a jerk off the stage. I mean, look at the thing with Mariah Carey. That whole thing, how that played out. That part of it is what it is, but you can't mistake his talent. And Nas, yeah, I put him in that discussion too, VK. But look, I'm not the averse rap fan that you thought I was. I can listen to rap music. It's just certain types of it you're not going to get me to listen to. The stuff that glorifies violence, the stuff that demeans women, no, sir. That ain't happening. But, Jared, well, as I see that shocked look in your eye, what do you see?
Jalen Brown just dunked on somebody. It was it was crucial. But anyway, we gotta go. We
Yeah,
gotta
let's
go. All
roll.
right, for George Peppers, for VK Jones, I'm JB the Sports Guy. We're back here Tuesday. Who has the best receiving core in the state? Edna Carr or Destrehan? Y'all gotta tune in to find out when we debate this. Well, we'll see you Tuesday right here on the Hash It Out Show. Y'all take care.
Randolph, head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out Show.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out.